Hi, my name is Toby Russell. I appreciate you having me here with you today. I'm going to give a little talk on embedded finance as a business model based on some experiences I've had in my journey. Just going to share a presentation here with you to that effect. As I mentioned, Toby Russell, and I've had the opportunity to do a few things over the past decade and a half. First, created a company called Taxi Magic, one of the first point of sale digital payments capabilities for ground travel. We basically enabled folks to pay for taxis in real time in a way that hadn't been done before. After that, I went to go work at Capital One Financial doing their digital transformation, observed a lot around credit underwriting and consumer finance. And then finally, most recently, have been running a company called Shift, which is an online marketplace for used vehicles, and have seen some critical things around financing, warranty in that space that I'm going to share. At a high level, quick jump back in time is some thinking around the core of how retailers and now folks in e-commerce make money. I have a thesis that we're actually going to start seeing that change. The traditional approach for a retailer was, in a sense, to make a spread on the things they bought and sold. Obviously, they would buy low from a supplier and sell higher to consumers, and oftentimes be able to achieve arbitrage based on their physical distribution. They'd be able to price up and receive a pretty good margin on those physical goods. In a sense, the pricing was opaque because a physical person in a physical store couldn't really know easily what the price for that physical good was far away, say 100 miles away in a different store. With the advent of online retailing, however, the physical footprint disappears and the opaque pricing disappears. There's a lot more visibility as to what the price is for a thing online across retailers, and the friction to find that out for a consumer goes way down. But along with that change to an online format and increasingly a mobile online to offline format, think mobile point of sale, either in a physical retail or in a place like an Uber or a taxi, you begin seeing a completely new landscape. And that is a new way that the retailer would interact with the consumer. The level of data that the retailer has access to significantly increases because they're able to engage a consumer with whom they can gather real ID and real information, accessing rich consumer, not just behavioral, but FICO, et cetera, data. And increasingly what we've seen is the advent of machine learning and data processing and data science that allows for rapid underwriting of that data, which means in a traditional model where underwriting would require specialist talent, the historical retail banking model where someone would come in and do an evaluation and it was really human judgment, increasingly that's embedded in algorithms that can be deployed broadly and it can even be rented or bought. Meaning the retailer who previously had a physical point of sale and didn't have access to rich data or underwriting capability now does. And so I've been observing some very interesting things, particularly in the auto retail space. We're seeing folks like CarMax and Carvana actually verticalize financing and begin, quote unquote, making money on the money. What does that mean? They will underwrite the loans for their case, automobiles that they're selling as part of having rich data on the user and knowing a lot about the vehicle so that they can take risk on that and then sell those assets into securities markets. Increasingly, what we're seeing is front-end margins, as they say, the money you make on the metal of the sale of those cars declining because there's less arbitrage. In the online world, folks can see what a car is worth. They can do massive comparisons with a huge amount of data. And so the arbitrage on the goods themselves is compressing, but you're seeing data and machine learning capabilities along with mobile online to offline capabilities enabling point of sale lending. So folks like Affirm and others are able to insert themselves into a transaction and be able to do that embedded finance point of sale later. My thesis is we're actually going to see more and more of this, and we're actually going to see more verticalized financing more verticalized insurance offering, and warranty type products, the intangible products emerging. As margins on the goods compress, we'll see the e-commerce players and retailers engage much more in doing that underwriting and various intangible products. As a result, I actually think we're also going to see a lot of consolidation. Why? The retail goods and services will be increasingly commoditized, which means the money is not to be made as much on that core spread of the good or service, but more will be able to be providing financial services, warranty services, insurance products in order to be able to monetize their offering and their marketplaces. This will be particularly true for the largest players who are able to securitize in large tranches and get more advantaged cost of capital. And they will grow by reducing margins on the goods, scaling out and selling more and more. The result will be fewer larger players who are verticalizing financing and insurance products and able to use digital technology and underwriting to make money on the money, rather than seeking to simply make money on the actual goods, where the margins will be compressing significantly. But again, that margin compression will enable the scale, which will enable the financing to go around and thereby create a flywheel and a huge incentive for scaling in a digital world and consolidation among various vertical retailers. I wanted to share that as an observation, and really excited and appreciate you having me here to talk through it with you.